second in a row after going 21-11 and winning a playoff game over Anthony Lynn's first 2 seasons.
Yeah.
So whether or not he gets a 5th season is kind of going to be dependent on how much they consider those first 2 seasons. We talked about this yesterday. The Chargers are in LA. They're in a market that is completely saturated, not with teams, not with entertainment, but high-level teams.
All winning.
All winning with lots of stars.
And they have to sell tickets, and they're giving away tickets.
Yes, well, as of right now, nobody's worried about tickets, but they will be eventually, and they're going to need something that is going to get people there. Now, I think Justin Herbert's done an amazing job, so they know that they have a star in him.
And
I would go watch him.
They also have a world-class pass rusher in Joey Bosa. Like, they have a quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, they have lots of great players and fun players and talent. Are they going to be able to put it all together is the question, and this year has been a huge disappointment. It obviously didn't start the way they thought it would. They thought they were going to have Tyrod Taylor, but Justin Herbert's been amazing. I don't know if Anthony Lynn is there next year, and I don't know if that's necessarily fair, but I also don't know how much, similar to college football, not for the money reasons that are in college football, I don't know how many changes like that, dramatic changes are going to happen around the NFL, other than the teams that, like, obviously the Falcons that had been, consistent for a while.
I whether it's fair or not, I just think the Chargers will make a move. I think what happens in the NFL, you can sense momentum. Like right now, you're like Giants, good momentum. Dolphins, good momentum. Carolina losing, good momentum.
Yeah.
Chargers, bad momentum. And I think when you have bad momentum, you got to move off it. Like Bill O'Brien won a lot of division titles, but when it started this year, 0-4, you're like, okay, Bill was winning, and we knew he wasn't a good GM, but the momentum turned, and Dave Wanstead always says this. You can lose a game, you can't lose a locker room.
Yeah.
And if you start losing these close games after a while, you start losing the trust, the momentum.
Well, it just becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy after a while. So the Browns are on a 3-game winning streak and are in a great position to make the playoffs with an 8-3 record, but Baker Mayfield also hasn't thrown an interception in the last 4 games.
That's good.
But he's not satisfied with how he has been playing.
I'm very critical of my play. It's just I pride myself on being an accurate passer, and I didn't do that. So I'm going to beat myself up about that because I know I can be better, and it pisses me off when I don't do the things I need to. I'm trying to get better each week, and that's taking care of the ball, and that's completing these passes that should be made in my sleep.
Yeah, he's right.
I don't know what to make of the Browns. I don't want to be extra critical because they are playing great and they deserve the credit, and I think Stefanski's done an amazing job.
I think we all know what they are.
Yeah, I just feel like they'll
have the worst quarterback in the playoffs, and that means they're not going to last long. I mean, if you start looking at quarterbacks that are going to make it, low-end guy would be to some like Derek Carr. Well, Derek Carr is better than Baker Mayfield. Like right now, by far.
I just feel about them the way that I feel about the Titans, but I feel better about the Titans than I do about the Browns.
Yes.
They go as their running game goes, both of these teams. But if they have to rely on their quarterback, I'm going to trust Ryan Tannehill more than I'm going to trust Baker Mayfield.
And that's absolutely what you should do, because Ryan's a better quarterback. And this is not a shot at Baker, but I think actually, almost more than any team, I think we know what Cleveland is. They have to play a certain way to win.
They're a limited team, but that's just an evaluation. Like, everything's not a criticism. That's just an evaluation of what they are.
Yeah, that's what they are.
They should be completely happy with. They should be thrilled with this season. They're having an amazing season, and Stefanski is completely righted the ship there. And it seems like he is finally establishing a culture in Cleveland,
when nobody
which is
yaps.
what they needed. Yes,
they don't talk. They're not chatty all the time.
They're exactly what Cleveland should be.
Yeah. Joy with the news.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
The Herd Lie News.
And it's really funny with Baker, because when Baker came into the league, everybody compared him to Drew Brees. And I'm like, no, Tua is Drew Brees, but Baker's not that accurate of a thrower. I didn't buy it. I watched Oklahoma and Baker play Georgia, and I'm like, when rushed, he's not that accurate of a thrower. I compared him to Case Keenum. And everybody said, whoa, it's unbelievable as a shot at Baker Mayfield. Case Keenum won like 11 games in Minnesota when he had a very conservative run-first coach and Kevin Stefanski as a coordinator with a bunch of good offensive pieces around him. That's what Case Keenum did. That's what Baker's doing. He is Case Keenum. Now, I think he has a better, stronger arm, but he's not any better athlete. He's not any bigger. I don't think he's any better at the line of scrimmage. This was my prototype. So Stefanski took Case Keenum. He was the offensive coordinator and had a bunch of good pieces, right? And they won like 11 games, and they were a playoff team, but you always felt there was a real ceiling. This is exactly what Stefanski has done. He's created this running game. There's a very low ceiling, but you have a coach that, Minnesota doesn't yap a lot. Browns don't yap a lot. It's a very solid culture. And so I always felt with that Case Keenum team, I'm like, fun, but, not going to go to they can't win multiple playoff games. And that's what I feel about Cleveland. Peter King in about 10 minutes. This is interesting to me. So when you win in the NFL, it's like, remember that thing whiteout? If you were typing and they had whiteout, it's like LeBron's the human eraser. If you have problems, like LeBron just sort of erases all that. Winning is sort of the solution to all your like drama and problems. The Miami Dolphins are winning. Tua, I just want to throw this out. In his first month as a starter, Tua was benched and got hurt. Nobody's talking about it. He got benched and he got hurt. Hurt in high school, hurt in college. Oh boy, hurt in the pros. And his passing totals for Tua in the first 4 games are 93 yards, 248, 109, and 83. Or is it 169? He's averaging under 150 yards per start. And whereas there's a lot of wow with these young quarterbacks. Kyler Murray's legs, wow. Lamar Jackson's speed, wow. Josh Allen's size and arm, wow. Justin Herbert's arm and everything, wow. With Tua and like a Dak Prescott, it is, well, they're winning. And that's something. But Miami is in a very interesting place. And I want you to, for a second, you're Brian Flores. You run the team. So by April, late April, the Jets are going to have Trevor Lawrence. Wow. The Bills already have Josh Allen. Wow. And Belichick's the best coach in football. You will have Tua. And Tua's strengths, and this is not arguable, the 2 things we know about him at every level: accurate, and he gets hurt. Now, accuracy matters. It is something. And Brian Flores may be thinking, hey, my defense, I'm a better defensive coach than everybody in this league except Belichick. I just want an accurate guy who doesn't turn it over. I want Drew Brees. I don't need wow. I don't need massive arm. But it's a very interesting situation because Miami has Houston's first-round pick, and Houston just lost their wide receiver and corner to like PEDs. So Houston's going to be really bad for the next month, despite Deshaun Watson. What does that mean? Miami may have the 5th or 6th pick in this draft. That's the last time Brian Flores is going to have a top 5 or 6 pick. This is it. And it is a awesome quarterback draft. This is why I believe you play Tua. You're not going to have the 5th or 6th pick in the draft. Brian Flores is too good of a coach. He's built too good of a defense. They got too much momentum. And they're getting more. I mean, they have draft capital, endless draft capital. So it's a fascinating place. Does Brian Flores look at this and think to himself, okay, here's what I know with Tua. He doesn't throw picks. He didn't throw them in high school. He threw 11 picks at Alabama total. He doesn't throw them in the NFL. And he thinks there's not a lot of wow there, but I get Drew Brees, I get accurate, I get no mistakes, and I can win with defense. But just remember, by late April, Trevor Lawrence and Josh Allen are in your division with each about a 12 to 15-year runway. That's what if you stay in Miami for 15 years, you will have the smaller, less of an arm, arguably less mobile quarterback. It's fascinating, and you have a draft pick from Houston you may never have again in your career. Patriots don't draft top 3 very often. It just doesn't happen. So kind of fascinating. Tua in his first month, benched and hurt, and nobody's talking about it. Like you can't tell me they're not thinking about it. This is why you can win with Ryan Fitzpatrick. I would put Tua out there. Even if it costs me a game, put him out there. All right, coming up next. All my years doing it, there's something happening I have never seen. In fact, I've not only never seen it, I can't even compare it to anything. That, plus Greg Cosell, top of the hour. NFL meat sandwich coming up. There's no better story than a Cinderella story. We all know those. A lower-seeded team overlooked by odds makers. You know, we see it every year in March Madness. Well, not this year. Pure Talk is a Cinderella story. They're a wireless company, phone company, right? The big dogs, the Verizons, the AT&Ts, the T-Mobiles, those are one seeds, big and powerful. Charge you for data you never use, perks you don't need. Pure Talk USA does not do that. They give you unlimited talk, unlimited text, 2 gigs of data, $20 a month. In fact, if you go over on data, they don't charge you. And they use the same towers as the big guys. You don't have to change your phone. You don't have to change your number. You don't have